Hey, chosen family. I know y'all waiting on the update. So, Uncle Tom did bless your girl. Them funds hit. First and foremost, I just want to thank everyone who donated to help me while I was waiting to get back right. Um, but yeah, so every last bill that I have is paid from the rest of this month, next month, the internet, the cell phone, the light, um, everything. Even I think I even paid something for March. Um, so a lot is not even really due until April for the most part. I think if I pay the $60 on the phone, nothing is really due until April, I want to say. So, yeah. So, thank you, Lord. Thank you. He don't come when you want him to, but he always on time. Thank y'all for watching. Love y'all. Hey, chosen family.
So if you weren't already familiar, we already did a video this week, or it might have been that last week, and I will link it at the end. Basically, this video was about her journey and trying to get her money by the 17th, and it looks like she was able to do it. My thing is, I always take these things with a grain of salt. And here's what I mean. And I'll be brief. I remember she had raised some money and she needed to get $1,100, and she said she only raised $500. That's in the previous video, and she still needed like another six or seven. How I interpret it, the way that I think, when you come on here and you say you've only raised 500 to your $1,100 goal, I feel like you've already raised the $1,100 goal and more, but you're trying to get more money. That's how I think. Not cynical necessarily, but I just kind of understand if you weren't going to be transparent and actually show the statements and screenshots and all that type of stuff, then I feel like you're just probably saying whatever. And ultimately, the ultimate goal is to get as much money as possible. So even now, where she says like, okay, we made it for this month, and then I was going to pay a little bit up for next month. If you didn't like show a thermometer where it actually tracks how much people are contributing, then I feel like you might be paid up for the year. Let's go quick, y'all. If you could like the video, I greatly appreciate it. Only takes a second and it helps out tremendously.
Hey, people. It's now been a little over a week since I've been. Hey, people. It's now been a little over a week since I've been living out my car. And, of course, there's a lot of complications that come with this, as far as having to go everywhere to use the restroom. Not really being able to eat much and stuff like that, because you don't really got access to, kitchen supplies, things of that nature, albeit microwaves, ovens, anything to cook, stuff like that. Showering, of course, trying to get to Planet Fitness all the time. The shower is very difficult, not to mention my car battery died, so now I'm not even mobile anymore. So there's a lot of complications that come with this, but one that I really noticed that I personally struggle with a lot is the actual sheer loneliness of it all. Like, I don't really got friends like that, and unfortunately about 95% of my bloodline is ass for the most part, so it's hard like coping with like pretty much no one checking up on you, you know what I'm saying, trying to see how you doing, if you're okay, hell, if you're alive. Stuff like that. Not really having anyone to talk to or go see, or just any of that, just kind of having to full on deal with this by myself. That has actually been, personally for me, I know everybody is different, but for me personally, that's been like my largest struggle, man. It's just feeling just alone, or whatever. Yeah, it could be also the fact, I was in a 6-year relationship, and the person that I was with hasn't cared at all about my situation ever since, she left and everything. And like has not once checked up on me, helped me, nothing. And I think that's taken a great effect on me mentally in dealing with this as well and feeling so alone and stuff like that. Because for 6 years. But yeah, just venting, but surviving. I'm surviving. It's just hard. But out of that, still here, still gonna make it eventually. So wish me luck.
Sometimes I have to fight off real hard the urge to address these situations how I would like it to be addressed for myself. Because me, I just prefer a swift kick in the A. Give it to me straight, be direct. But what I realize is not everybody can handle that today, right? Listen, we we talk about it all the time, so we just have to be real. Listen, we review people on this channel all the time. Women with 8 kids, single. Now they're getting help from a lot of different sources, so I understand it's a little different. But what it appears is this fellow right here has no kids. That's what it appears like, and really just got to take care of himself. He looks like he's in great shape. If you didn't see his hoodie said UFC on it. I wouldn't be surprised if he's got a little bit of mixed martial arts experience or something like that. So I say this to say, brother, you're just gonna have to figure it out. You don't got no friends. I get it. That could actually be a blessing in disguise. Here's why. You got nothing but time to think. You don't got nobody distracted. You don't got nobody depending on you needing something. Listen, there are certain people who they're doing all the right things, but they also have family that maybe something unfortunate happened. Maybe they have a sick family member, whatever, and they have to try to help take care of the sick family member. So they didn't even have kids, but they still have something else kind of wearing on their coattails. Man, you have to ultimately what he needs to do is he needs to let go. I can tell he's still clinging on to a lot of things. He's focusing on the things he doesn't have or the things that he did have that he doesn't have anymore. And you got to move on and move forward. That's ultimately what he needs to do is clear. But as long as he keeps clinging, he's gonna stay in that place. Let's go ahead. I can say a lot, but we'll just move on.
Right now, and I'm looking for a new job. And the one thing that I just keep thinking about that just completely depresses me is the fact that even if I get another job, that one job will not be enough to pay for everything. Like these days, it is impossible to have only one job and to be able to pay all your bills from that one job alone. There's honestly only been one time in my life where I was able to work one job and make ends meet, but that was only
That's
because
not
that
true.
job offered overtime pay. So I was working between 40 and 70 hours per week at that job. And that's how I was able to pay all my bills without needing a second job or a side hustle. But now it's like if I want to live a comfortable lifestyle and be able to go on at least one vacation a year, I'd probably need to work a full-time job, a part-time job, and still have a couple side hustles. And it's like if I'm doing all this working, when am I going to have time to spend with my child? When am I going to have time to rest and relax? It's insanely frustrating knowing that these companies can afford to pay us way more than they do, but choose not to, making it impossible for us to survive on one job alone. Our grandmothers were able to be stay-at-home moms while our granddads worked one job and were able to buy houses. Like my grandparents bought multiple houses, and I can't even buy one. How did we get to this place where you have to work multiple jobs just to survive?
It's kind of funny because at first I was gonna say, for one, I agree partially because let me tell you, things are definitely harder today, especially for the younger generation, and things are going to be harder for them in order to try to be sustainable, for sure. And that's why I don't understand when we see people who were around when things were great and they still don't have it together. But that's a whole nother thing. But I was gonna say, yes, things are harder now. So now more than ever is not the time to put self-inflicted wounds on yourself, i.e., taking on other responsibilities that are permanent that you're going to ultimately be responsible for And now more than ever, the government's taking hands off and saying you're gonna have to hold that. So I was gonna say she's still gonna be okay as long as she doesn't put self-inflicted wounds on herself, i.e., have kids. But then it came out that she has a kid and is possibly single, or it appears that she's single. Here's the other caveat. Listen, if you just want kids so bad, and it's just the timelines have to match, and you have to have them right now, based off of the design that you want, then now you more than ever you need to prioritize the relationship with the father. Let me explain. A lot of people today are very fickle as far as staying in the relationship that they decided to have a kid, conceive a kid out of, to the point that they do it multiple times. Multiple times. They'll have multiple different fathers, so get in multiple different relationships and prioritize none of those. No, the first one today, you need to prioritize. And by prioritize, I mean you can't be fickle and just say, "Oh, if I have a man, cool. If I don't, either way, all right." You're gonna get on here complaining over time. All we got to do is set our clocks. It's coming.
Who's got the no trespassing sign? Is that you or them?
They had it up there. No, tell them why we probably need to put up there after the day.
It sounds hollow. Also, the car about to make arm entry. No, they changed it. How you doing? Who else here?
Just me. I'm fixing to play out.
Okay. Yeah, we got an eviction today. You look like y'all packed up pretty good.
Yeah.
Are you the leaseholder?
No, my friend was, he just left a little while ago or something. And then, I'm fixing to head out.
That's when you know you in the wrong. When you just pack up, you're like, "Yep, I know, it's time to go." That's when you know you like, I don't listen. I done saved all my money. I didn't pay no rent. Cool, I get it. I'm gone. Looks like she kept it in
All right,
pretty
how you
good
doing?
condition. Either she kept it in good condition, or this landlord is so about their business. As soon as she missed the payment, they was on her like white on rice, and they got her up out of there. They started immediately.
Wow.
Yeah, that really was a 2 minute
So who is
eviction.
she?
I have no idea. No
It
clue.
says blink and she's gone.
I did not realize, y'all, it was going to be this difficult to port my Section 8 voucher. Okay, I'm thinking that as long as I done lived in my state and parish for at least a year, then I can port my Section 8 voucher to whatever state I want to. Okay, so I ended up talking to my worker, and she was like, "Well, you need to make sure that the state that you're trying to move to, they're absorbing and not billing, meaning that they'll cover the full rent instead of billing like they are billing my rent to my old housing authority, which is
Hmm.
them." Okay, so I was like, okay, still thinking it won't be that difficult or whatever. So the state I was trying to move to, I end up looking up the housing authority and calling them. They end up saying, "No ma'am, we're billing." Okay, so I end up calling some other housing authorities in different cities that I was not really thinking about moving to. They say they're billing as well, not absorbing. Okay, so at this point, I'm nervous, y'all. Okay, so I was like, well, let me just try some other states. So I get on Google, TikTok, Facebook, researching other good states to move to. Found some. End up researching the housing authority. Called them, y'all. Tell me why they all say billing too. And when I say I called a bunch of different states, I called a ton of states in I called a bunch of housing authorities in a bunch of states in a ton of cities in those states.
Yeah, that's what it's supposed to happen. Not trying to embark on a new journey while on Section 8. What is we doing? No, you need to stay there and figure it out and try to get off of it. You're trying to take a new journey and embark to new horizons while still on government assistance. That just doesn't make any sense. What do you think this is? Like you just get to move around and go state to state? Maybe there's a good reason, but no, we I don't know about that one. I don't think it should be easy. I think priorities is wrong. You trying to move, you need to be trying to get off Section 8. We'll leave it there for today. If you could like the video, I greatly appreciate it. It only takes a second, helps out tremendously. Also, if you could hype the video, hype is a new feature that YouTube offers. And basically, it helps smaller content creators like myself. And what that does is when you hype us, it actually pushes us to the extent that it pushes the larger content creators. So you just press the hype button just like you press the like button, and it shows the points. I know it's getting towards the end of the week, so a lot of people probably out of hype. I appreciate everyone for always hyping. Some people even hype right from the start of the week. And then also Patreon's link below if you want to see self-improvement content. But until then, I'll catch you in the next video.